All right, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about the fraud triangle. Now, in the last lesson, we helped you understand what fraud is and the different types of fraud that an accountant might incur. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about this idea of the fraud triangle, and the fraud triangle is our understanding or the ability to minimize the risk that fraud occurs within our organization. So if we understand the fraud triangle, we may be able to reduce the risk that any type of fraud might occur in our business, and in turn reduce that cost that might come from a fraud happening or a fraud occurrence happening in our organization. So this is super important from a cost effectiveness standpoint, but also from reducing the ability that fraud might occur at the end of the day. So what is the fraud triangle? Let's kind of start here with the person who came up with it, and that is Donald Cressy. He was a criminologist who found that 3 factors exist when fraud occurs. And those 3 factors are incentive, opportunity, and rationalization. And what Cressy theorized was that if one of these factors wasn't in place, if we could take one of these factors away, then fraud cannot occur, which also means that if these 3 things are there, fraud can occur. We're not saying that it will, we're just saying that it can occur. So as a business or a manager, our job is to take one of these away to reduce the ability that fraud can occur. So let's talk a little bit deeper about these 3 factors that fraud might occur. The first one is incentive. For the fraudster, there must be a benefit to them, whether directly or indirectly. So they must get something out of it if the fraud's going to occur, because they've got a lot of risk in committing the fraudulent act. Now, there may be some type of pressure, like financial pressure, that gives them the reason to actually commit the fraud. So a lot of times the fraud's occurring because of financial pressure. They want more money. They have bills that they need to pay. Some type of financial pressure is causing them to commit the fraud. The second part of the fraud triangle is opportunity. If the fraud is going to occur, there must be an opportunity for it to actually happen. For instance, if a company runs a no cash store, there is no opportunity for cash to be stolen, right? Because if there's no cash on premise, then cash can't be stolen. So there isn't an opportunity for cash to be stolen from the company, at least at the retail spot, right? So because there's no cash, okay? So the opportunity is the ability that fraud can occur. So if there is no opportunity, the fraud can't occur. So there must be an opportunity for the fraud to occur. The last one part of the fraud triangle is rationalization. The fraudster must believe cannot get caught, so they can get away with it, or they can justify the fraudulent activities. Often employees feel that they should be earning more than they are being paid, and as such justifies their reasoning to commit a fraudulent act. And that's one of the reasons that fraud occurs, is that an employee believes they are due more or they're owed more, and therefore that's what's giving them the justification for that fraudulent act. So again, rationalization is important, and that's all about what that fraudster is doing in their mind to convince them that it's okay for them to commit the fraud. Okay, so rationalization. And there's sometimes not a lot you can do about rationalization. So therefore, what part of the fraud triangle can we remove so that fraud doesn't happen? So why is this all important? Well, for accountants and business managers, we must be aware of the factors in which fraud occurs, and we must be able to find ways to remove one of the 3 posts of the fraud triangle. So which one do we take away? So if we look at these 3, the easiest one to take away from a business standpoint is the opportunity. Companies can also do things about rationalization. However, rationalization can't always be brought down to 0, but opportunity can. For instance, if you don't want cash to be stolen, you don't collect any cash, right? You've taken the opportunity away. There's no chance for someone to steal the cash if the company doesn't accept cash as a valid payment, okay? So Rationalization, we can do some things about that. Rationalization, so the biggest way you can reduce rationalization is pay your workers well. You can also have a great culture, a great company culture will keep your employees thriving. They believe that they're working for a good cause. A lot of times you can actually pay employees less if you have a great company culture because they feel belonging to the organization and they don't really think about how they're getting paid less if they're working for a great place. So thinking about that. It's hard to take away incentive because there's always going to be some type of incentive, always going to be some type of financial resource incentive. So really what businesses can do is try to remove the opportunity. And we kind of think of this fraud triangle as a table. If we were to take one of the legs from the table away, the table's not going to stand on its own, especially if it only has 3 legs. And so which one of these legs can we pull away that literally reduces the fraud chances to near zero? I won't say it is zero, but near zero. So opportunity is our best way to remove the ability for fraud to happen. So that is the fraud triangle. I love this idea of the fraud triangle because if you really understand it, you can actually reduce your fraud, and that's what we want to do. Now, one thing that we didn't talk about in this lesson here is the idea of cost versus benefit. It's important to understand that opportunity is the easiest one we can deal with from a company standpoint, but there must be a cost versus benefit analysis that is done with that act, right? So if we're trying to reduce the fraud of $3 pens being stolen, we don't need to spend $50,000 on a security system to watch over $3 pens, right? But we may want a $50,000 security system to watch over a jewelry store because the assets within that jewelry store are in the millions of dollars rather than the dollars of dollars, right? So thinking about cost versus benefit, sometimes you just have to let it go, knowing that it's probably cheaper for someone to steal something than it is for you to put up these barriers here to reduce the opportunity of fraud occurring. So thinking about that when we talk about the fraud triangle. So hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, it is Patrick. Don't forget to press the like button and share this video with someone who could get a lot of use from watching this lesson, like maybe a classmate or maybe a friend or maybe just a parent, just because you wanted to share this video because you're very excited about what you saw. Share it with someone. And if you want to help us grow and help us make sure that we put the very best in accounting topics out on YouTube, make sure you press the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time we post videos to this channel. Now, I do this with every one of my classes at the end of class. What did you learn from this lesson? Put that in the comment section below and I'll respond to you on what you got out of this video. So hope you enjoyed this video and we will see you in the next lesson.